Hi everyone, my name is Ruby Powers with Powers Law Group, and today we're going to talk about the DACA Advanced Parole. And thanks so much for watching. I'm a board certified immigration attorney in Houston, Texas. We have a full service immigration law firm that helps everyone on their U.S. immigration needs anywhere in the U.S. and the world. Everything from asylum removal, family, complex naturalization, citizenship, employment, investment cases. I also wrote a book about law practice management and lived in about 6 countries. But anyway, let's talk about this. So we just recently announced the 10-year anniversary of DACA, right? So we're really excited about that. And we're continuing to monitor for more of a long-term path for DACA recipients. It has been able to help nearly 800,000 individuals. And so that's a lot of lives have been impacted by it. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the advanced parole and what are the requirements and how does that work? So just a little background, in July 2021, the District Court of the Southern District of Texas held the DACA policy was illegal, and then they granted summary judgment and vacated the 2012 DACA memo, etc. They temporarily stayed its order vacating the DACA memo and its injunction with regards to individuals who obtained DACA on or before July 16, 2021. So basically renewals can happen, but new DACA is on hold. And therefore also they're allowing advanced parole for those who already had DACA. So advanced parole is a permission granted by the Department of Homeland Security, allowing certain individuals to temporarily travel outside the US and return lawfully. Now you cannot, it's really important. You can't apply for it if your DACA is expired or you don't have DACA. And you must have a valid unexpired passport to travel internationally. So you need to get the passport of your nationality of your country. A lot of the embassy's consul points can be done here in the United States without having to travel. So if your passport expired within the next 6 months, you need to renew it as soon as possible. So a lot of times when I'm talking about this with my consults, I say it's like the stars have to align. You have to have enough passport time. You have to have enough DACA time. And which is like 2 years at a time, right? And then you need to have a good enough reason that meets the qualifications and give yourself enough time for them to actually adjudicate this. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll have the consultation, we'll talk, and I say, okay, we'll go get these things in order. And when they're ready, then let's go ahead and do this. Because if not, then there's really no point, we can't do much. So the benefits of it, it allows the DACA recipient to travel outside the country so they can see family, they can go work, they can go study. But there's not only that, by re-entering into the US on that document that counts as a lawful entry, or as you would say, being paroled in, which can later be beneficial if you have a immediate relative who can petition for you, like a US citizen, spouse, or parent. So this is important to be able to get legal permanent residency. And doesn't mean all things are, you can get a green card no matter what. No, it doesn't mean that. You still have to have all these other qualifications, but it's very helpful for lots of DACA recipients to have a lot of a US citizen or legal permanent resident family that can later help them. So the requirements for advanced parole, they will only approve this. So advanced parole for DACA is very specific. For temporary protected status, for example, it's not really specific, and so it's pretty easy to get. But here it has to be one of 3 prongs. It has to be either humanitarian purposes, and so usually it's like to attend a family member's funeral, visiting a sick relative, medical assistance, something to do with a family, a relative. And a lot of times when DACA recipients haven't seen this individual in a long time, or maybe even ever, but they're wanting to go see them before they pass away or before their medical condition continues to worsen. So this is the one that I do the most, is the humanitarian purposes. The other one is education purposes, including taking part in a study abroad program or doing academic research. Now, this one's it's important to show what you're going to be doing, what the itinerary is, what's the importance of it. And so this is another option. The third option could be employment purposes. So that would be an overseas assignment, client meetings, interviews, conferences, training, and you need to explain what you're going to be doing, when you're going to be doing it, why you're going to be doing it. And so we put a little bit of a list of some things that can help you. For humanitarian, the letter from the doctor, professional, explaining the condition. Of course, it needs to be translated into English. The identity document of the ailing relative and connecting the relationship to the individual applying. For study educational, we're talking about study abroad, what you're going to do, the acceptance letter, the specific program, degrees, as you can see, there's a lot of suggestions there. And then employment, the letter by employer, document showing what they're planning to do, a resume. So it's just all about proving what your objective is. So what happens when it's approved? Well, you can jump up and down and be excited, and then you can start making your travel plans if you hadn't already thought about it, but you couldn't put it in motion. So you're going to want to take this document when you travel. You need to double check that you have enough DACA, right? Enough passport time, and there's enough time on this travel document. Then you're going to go travel, and you're going to come back. And you're probably going to get a stamp in your passport or on that document to prove that you did come back on time and you don't want to stay past the due date. I've had a client who I think just went down to the border and got a taco and came back. And then once she got her green card, legal permanent resident status, she went and saw the relative more. I think she saw the relative. I'm sorry, but it was a short trip because I think she just was so not used to being abroad or being out of the U.S. after most of her life being here. So, that's important to note that there's not a lot of time to travel, and sometimes for people, it's they have to move quickly. Now, it doesn't. Okay, this is the lawyer side, right? It doesn't guarantee safe return. So there could be some last minute thing where there's an expiration or travel delays. We saw a lot of crazy stuff with COVID. They could ask you questions at the border about some inadmissibility. We have, more like crimes. We've seen people get back in with deportation orders. And then there could be, could be something that comes up. So it's important to definitely have a consultation because we don't want to have the person in the news about something you couldn't get back in. But I mean, in general, if you have a clean record, I wouldn't be afraid of it. But it is something, like I said, you have to have enough DACA, you have to have enough passport time, and you need to have a good reason that's going to meet one of these qualifications. So that was DACA advanced parole pretty quickly in a nutshell. And so it's a great opportunity. Generally, if we're doing this, it's just because the individual is married to a U.S. citizen, their spouse is about to become a citizen, or they have a U.S. citizen parent, and we're going to do an adjustment of status as soon as we have this parole. The other option is just to have it because you can. And then maybe there'll be some type of change in the future that this can benefit. Maybe you're not even married and you just want to have this as an option. So it is a great option. The reason why there's less people in DACA than there were in the beginning is because some people have been able to use this opportunity to get them to a legal permanent residency and no longer have to renew their DACA. So feel free to reach out to us at lots of different places, but we give weekly updates on about immigration and weekly webinars on different in English and Spanish, and you can find us in all these different places for everything from Twitter, Facebook. A newsletter comes out every other week in English and Spanish. We also have Instagram and TikTok. Check us out there, Powers Immigration Lawyer. And so today was what is DACA advanced parole, and next week we're going to be talking about the asylum interview tips. So thanks so much for watching. If you have any ideas on something you want to hear us to talk about, just let us know. We're always preparing these and we